It's 11 p.m. and the top headlines of tonight. Representing the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the Minister of Health, Abdelhak Saihi, took part this Tuesday in the Jordanian capital Amman in a high-level conference on the emergency humanitarian response in Gaza. Presidential elections, the withdrawal of application forms of individual signatures from the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Authority continue. And in its latest issue, Jaish editorial indicates that the PNA will continue tirelessly accomplishing its constitutional missions with commitment and dedication. As summer approaches, new improvements have been set at Algiers port, precisely in the ferry terminal, and this to offer more comfort and a better experience to the passengers. Welcome back, everyone. And representing the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the Minister of Health, Abdelhak Saihi, is taking part this Tuesday in the Jordanian capital Amman in the high-level conference on the emergency humanitarian response in Gaza. The aim of this conference is to identify ways of meeting humanitarian needs in Gaza and practical mechanisms to ensure the immediate and sustainable delivery of emergency humanitarian aid. In his speech read out on behalf of the President, the Minister stated that the massacres committed on a daily basis against Palestinian people are a disgrace to humanity, assuring the efforts of Algeria in its capacity as a non-permanent member of the Security Council and a member of the Human Rights Council to be the voice of wisdom and responsibility, matching the aspirations of the oppressed peoples of the world, including Palestinian people. The President of the Republic recalled Algeria's efforts in supporting the Palestinian cause and people, while highlighting that it is calling all parties to adhere to a practical, realistic and lasting process based on the application of the UN resolutions, guaranteeing by that the arrival of humanitarian aid to the victims while pursuing its work until the establishment of an independent and sovereign Palestinian people. And now I invite you to have a listen to the statement of the Minister of Health.
انسجاما مع مبادئ سياستنا الخارجية.
In line with the principles of our foreign policy, Algeria aspires by taking part in this important meeting to achieve three principal objectives. First of all, the activation of the UN ceasefire resolutions and the adoption of the mechanisms for an immediate and permanent ceasefire. We salute the resolution 2735 that should be applied immediately in order to put an end to the sufferings of the Palestinian people. Secondly, open the way to the humanitarian aid and protect it, to make the victims benefit from it by executing the resolution 2728. Thirdly, the activation of the process aiming to find a persistent and fair resolution to the Palestinian issue.
And the President of the Republic also announced the early payment by Algeria of the second installment of its financial contribution to the budget for the Palestinian Authority for the current year. Let's have a listen.
منطلق المسؤولية يسعدني أن أغتنم هذه السانحة.
I have the honor to announce Algeria's advance payment decision of the second part of its financial contribution to the Palestinian Authority's budget of the current year, hoping that this contribution will attenuate the sufferings of our Palestinian brothers in these hard times that will be remembered as a shame for humanity.
And on the international scene, and after the U.S. draft resolution supporting Gaza's ceasefire deal has been approved by the UNSC, the permanent representative of Algeria to the United Nations, Ammar Ben Jama, stressed that Algeria, and guided by its solidarity to the Palestinian people and by its principles, is committed to its contribution, along with the international community, to the reconstruction of Gaza.
After that, the United Nations Security Council yesterday approved a resolution draft calling for a ceasefire in Gaza Strip submitted by the United States of America and 14 votes in favor of the plan that would hopefully end the Zionist aggression. The permanent representative of Algeria in the United Nations, Ammar bin Jama, declared that Algeria is committed alongside the international community to support the Palestinian people and to participate in the reconstruction of Gaza Strip.
Given the unprecedented level of destruction in Gaza, which will take decades to clear, the international community, through this resolution, reaffirms its commitment to the Palestinian people and for the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. Guided by its solidarity with the Palestinian people, my country, Algeria, will do its part and contribute to the international reconstruction effort.
As the only country representing the Arab group in the Security Council, the state of Algeria has repeatedly confirmed that it will keep gathering the international support to the Palestinian cause and that it will spare no effort until the Palestinian free and independent state is established.
We fully understand and support their legitimate and just demands. From the start of our mandate in the Council, our objective has been and remains clear and unwavering: to halt the massacres committed by the Israelis occupying forces in Gaza.
After the long-lasting crimes committed by the Zionist entity against the Palestinian people, this might be an actual turning point for the Palestinian cause, and the Palestinian people might finally breathe, as the whole world is demanding.
In this context, the Arab League and the Palestinian Presidency welcomed the adoption of the resolution by the UNESCO, calling on everyone to assume their responsibilities for its implementation. The Palestinian Presidency indicated that the resolution is consistent with its demands for an immediate cessation of the Zionist aggression and the withdrawal of the occupation forces from all the Strip, the entry of aid, and preventing displacement. During the last 24 hours, the occupation committed 3 new massacres that caused the death of 40 Palestinians and the injury of others, while the Zionist occupation admitted the death of its soldiers in the bombing of a booby-trapped house in the Shabura camp in Rafah. On the other hand, 4 Palestinians were martyred and 8 people were injured when the occupation forces stormed the city of Ramallah in the north of the West Bank. In this regard, the Palestinian Presidency considered the escalation that occurred in the West Bank an extension of the ongoing operations of the genocide and ethnic cleansing in the Gaza Strip. And in other news, and tasked by the President of the Republic and in his capacity as Special Envoy, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Committee Abad Ahmed Attaf paid a working visit to the Republic of Turkey on Tuesday, as he was welcomed by the President of the Republic of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, to whom he handed over a written message from his brother, the President of the Republic, Abdulmajid Tebboune. This message is part of the communication and coordination between the leaders of the two countries, which will help to raise Algerian-Turkish relations to a high level. During the meeting, cooperation partnership relations between the two countries were discussed, as well as its positive dynamic, in addition to developments of the situation in the occupied Palestinian territories and in the Sahel-Saharan region. President Tayyip Erdogan conveyed his warmest greetings to his brother, the President of the Republic, Abdulmajid Tebboune, hoping to meet him in the near future and to continue their joint efforts in the service of bilateral relations and in support of the Muslim nations' causes, with the Palestinian cause at the top. And now moving on to the presidential elections of the 7th of September. Early in the morning, the individuals willing to stand as candidates, Shaban Zerouki, Salim Latrash, Saïd Nagza, Zubid Assoul and Ahmed Choutri, proceeded to the withdrawal of the application forms of individual signatures from the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Authority. These forms provided by the Independent National Electoral Authority contain traceable serial numbers for each candidate. This new edition will guarantee the transparency and the better organization of the elections.
With the aim of facilitating the operation of withdrawal of subscription forms, the Independent National Electoral Authority has taken all the necessary regulatory measures to respond to the requests of people wishing to apply. The subscription forms have a serial number and are listed at the INEA level in the name of applicant in order to prevent any attempt of fraud.
رقم التسلسلي هذا راح يسمح لنا على مستوى التصديق.
The serial number will allow us to add a QR code to facilitate tracking and checking of electoral forms.
المراقبة التقنية لهذه الاستمارات.
The operation of withdrawing subscription forms requires strict regulatory conditions, such as, among other things, the candidate's file, which must be completed.
هناك أجل لسحب هذه الاستمارات وهو أجل 40 يوما ابتداء من صدور مرسوم استدعاء.
The deadline for the withdrawal operation of individual signature subscription forms for candidates for the early presidential election is set at 40 days from the publication of the decree summoning the electoral body on June 8, 2024. The authority sets an initial number of 20,000 forms, although the law requires only 600 forms for candidates.
خاصة بالمنتخبين مع أن القانون يستوجب 600 استمارة توقيع للمنتخبين.
The Independent National Electoral Authority deploys all necessary means and offers all facilitations to candidates wishing to be nominated in the presidential elections, the countdown of which began since the summoning of the electoral body by the President of the Republic.
And its latest issue, Al-Jaish editorial, indicates that the PNA will continue tirelessly accomplishing its constitutional missions with commitment and dedication. The primary concern of its high command is to strengthen its operational availability and its combat capabilities to face all the threats. More insights with Najh.
Al-Jaish magazine latest issue entitled New Algeria, Better Future and Promising Perspective underlines that the national sovereignty is safeguarded with a strong and wayne-spring army and a well-developed economy, as emphasized by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, considering that security is the main pillar of building a stable, developed and prosperous state that achieves the well-being of its people in an atmosphere of internal harmony and constant adaptation to the regional and international environment. The People's National Army, the descendant of the National Liberation Army, continues to perform its constitutional tasks thanks to the comprehensive and carefully studied approach based on equipping with the latest equipment and weapons, training and continuous combat preparation. The qualitative results achieved, whether in the operational or the combat preparation aspect, reflect the development made by our People's National Army, especially in the recent years. These efforts are all aimed at consolidating and strengthening Algeria's security, protecting its independence and preserving its territorial and national unity, as emphasized by the Army General Said Chengrehas, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, saying, all people without exception have the right to live in peace and to aspire to security and tranquility. This is a right guaranteed by all human laws, and countries around the world are working towards this right, ensuring that they build a dissuasive defense force. Any right which is not supported by force would therefore be nothing more than a mirage and an unrealistic objective. In this sense, we are working within the National People's Army under the leadership of the President of the Republic, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of the National Defense, to give Algeria the force capable of preserving the right of its people to live with dignity in independence and sovereignty. The public authorities, with the President of the Republic at their head, have given great importance to the economic and development aspect, especially the agriculture sector, which has achieved very positive results this year. All indicators suggest that our country is on the right track towards achieving self-sufficiency and strengthening our food security. In addition, various sectors of economic activity are witnessing considerable dynamism. These strenuous efforts reflect our country's ambition to strengthen our economic position, as emphasized by the President of the Republic, saying, "I am committed to developing the economy even further, and the beginnings of this development are already becoming apparent, as recognized by all regional and international bodies, as our economy now ranks third in Africa," noting that 2027 will be a pivotal year for Algeria's economic future. At the end, the Jaish editorial added that the nation must make more efforts with determination, each in his own place, to complete the building of a strong state internally in order to impose itself externally, to which Algeria will always remain strong and prosperous with its economy and capabilities, solid and united with its people and institutions, secure with its people's national army, the impregnable fortress of Algeria, the guardian of its sovereignty and unity.
And the graduation of 10 promotions of officers and non-commissioned officers took place this Tuesday at the Shahid Jilul Abidat Infantry School in Shishal. The graduating promotions are named after the martyr of duty Ibrahim Sahli. The ceremony was chaired by the commander of the Land Forces, Major General Ammar Athmaniya. Rania Al-Bahri.
A graduation ceremony for 10 promotions of officers and non-commissioned officers was organized at the Shahid Jilul Abidat Higher Infantry School in Shishal. The ceremony began with a review of the trainee squares by the Commander of Land Forces, Major General Ammar Athmaniya. In his speech on this occasion, the commander of the Higher Infantry School noted that the students and graduates leaving the school benefited from high-level training to allow the school to be in tune with the developments of concepts and strategies of military arts and sciences.
أيها المتخرجون يا قادة المستقبل وروح الوطن.
Dear graduates, future leaders and spirit of the nation, the vision of bold change and the ambitious goals of our leadership can be achieved if you protect them with your blood and defend them with your souls.
ودفعتم عنها بأرواحكم.
أقسم بالله العلي العظيم أن أكون خادما وفيا لبلدي.
The ceremony continued with the swearing-in by the graduates before the commander of the land forces presented the diplomas and grades to the majors of the promotion. This was followed by the transfer of the school's national emblem to the new promotion. The promotions were named after the Shahid of duty Ibrahim Sahli.
الموافقة على تسمية دفعتنا باسم الشهيد البطل إبراهيم السهلي.
The military parade and the performance of military exhibitions by the outgoing students reflect the high level of training of the graduates of this school. After the military parade, a tribute was paid to the family of Shahid Ibrahim Sahli. At the end of the ceremony, the commander of the land forces, Major General Ammar Athmaniya, signed the school's golden book.
As summer approaches, new improvements have been set at Algiers port, precisely in the ferry terminal, and this to offer more comfort and a better experience to the passengers. Report by Yanis Eit Belqasem, commentary of Yasin Hamdi.
The majestic Beji Mokhtar III docks at the white city of Algiers ferry terminal, announcing the beginning of the summer holiday. After a long trip from the other side of the Mediterranean, the passengers are very happy to return to their beloved motherland.
After 18 hours, the Beji Mokhtar III reached its destination with 634 vehicles and 793 passengers. I'm very happy to be back to my country. I love Algeria. The boat staff is very professional.
Inside the ferry terminal, new signs have been installed. Wi-Fi and new accommodations are available to ensure the welcoming and the comfort of the passengers before the boarding and after the disembarkation.
We're doing our best for a good transit of the passengers.
The agents of the Algiers Port Company work in synchronization with the customs services to ensure a good and quick disembarkation. The passengers are happy to see that the custom formalities have been simplified.
We have set a green corridor for the elderly and people with specific needs. We do our best to take care of the passengers.
The port has also benefited from improvements with an expansion for a bigger number of ships.
On a récupéré pas mal d'espace, ont été récupérés pour optimiser les espaces. Surtout, on axe beaucoup sur l'autopassager.
We recovered important spaces for a better optimization. We focus a lot on the passengers' cars. As you know, there were more than 600 cars in today's boat.
In addition to all these improvements, this summer is marked by important discounts made by Algérie ferries. Being essentials of the country, the ports and airports are being improved to facilitate the passengers' trips and the merchandise treatment in order to strengthen the national economy and promote Algeria as the destination.
And Sonatrach signed today a memorandum of understanding with the Chinese telecommunication company Huawei Algeria, as it will allow the establishment of a framework to initiate discussions dealing with cooperation opportunities in the field of digitization and information technology, including a large range of sectors, notably cloud computing, data centers, computer networks, telecommunications, and cybersecurity. The signing ceremony took place at the headquarters of the Huawei parent company in Shenzhen in China, and in the presence of Rashid Hashishi, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Sonatrach, and his counterpart Huang Yang. And the sad news we've received concerning our colleague, the security agent Souma Al-Azizi, who passed away on Tuesday following a heart attack. The Director General of the APTV extends his sincere condolences to the family of the late and her colleagues within the company, praying Allah to welcome her in His vast paradise and grant her beloved ones mercy and patience. To Allah we belong, and to Him we shall return. The elderly tour continues in Algeria for members of the national community living abroad. What could make them much happier than visiting the motherland and discover their country again, where each visited place brings back a story. Rida Tibermasin and Yasin Hamdi.
With a lot of emotions, these 100 elderly from our community abroad enjoy their memorable moments spent in different regions of the country. After visiting the amazing Annaba, they have the pleasure to discover the beauty of the antique Galma before resuming their visits in the other cities of the country.
I'm really happy to be back to my motherland, the country of martyrs. I thank the President Tebboune for this opportunity to visit my country. I'm here with an amazing group, and these moments are memorable.
برفقة مجموعة من الآباء والأمهات الذين أتوا لقضاء أسبوع سياحي.
The elderly, or the Shibani, had the pleasure to visit the natural and cultural treasures of Galma, such as the megalithic necropolis of Roknia, the mountains of Jebel Maouna, and enjoyed an artistic evening at the natural falls of Hammam Dabakh.
The first day started with a visit of the megalithic remains in the municipality of Ruknia. Then we admired the breathtaking Jebel Maouna. Tomorrow we'll visit Houari Boumedien's house, the Roman Theatre and the Mujahid Museum. I came to Algeria before, but it's my first time in Galma, and I really like it. It's a beautiful region.
After visiting Galma, the delegation went to Hammam Gergourin Stef before heading to the west of the country in Tlemcen for a touristic and therapeutic visit by enjoying the benefits of hydrotherapy. a memorable trip that will strengthen the bonds of these visitors with their motherland.
And Algeria is elected as a member of the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. This choice embodies the trust that the international community has in Algeria and its serious national policy for the safeguarding, promoting and development of its rich and tangible cultural heritage, stressing that Algeria's election to this committee is the crowning achievement of its efforts in favor of intangible cultural heritage. And that was it for today's news. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.